Okay, now the time has come, and we now to begin the seminar titled Grínsmart Busan Initiative, Technology and Policy, hosted by Busan Metropolitan City and the Busan Development Institute, which is BDI. My name is Ho-Seok Nam, a research fellow at BDI, and I'll be your moderator. Many countries and organizations are participating in the COP28 events, and discussion on climate change are continuing. Busan Metropolitan City and our organization, which is a BDI, also recognize our responsibility to address climate change with a great awareness. In this situation, we would like to share and discuss what direction of Busan should take through this seminar. So before starting today's seminar, there will be welcoming and opening remarks. Remarks from Dr. Hyun-Seok Shin, the president of BDI, and next, after the opening remarks, he will give a keynote speech, which is titled Grínsmart Busan Initiative, Technology and Policy. Please give him a big hand.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming here at the session for the Busan Grínsmart initiative. As Dr. Nam introduced me, I'm Hyun-Seok Shin from Busan Institute. Actually, I have the three important meanings of this session. First one is that Busan is the local government in South Korea. Then the most important thing is that how we can make the localized and the regionalized the climate adaptation and carbon neutrality policies that indicate that how we can act for overcome the climate crisis in the regional area. And then second one is that Busan is the center of the old industries, including the iron industry and also the ship industry, car industry, something like that. And then in those old, heavy, big industries, there are so many labors left behind, which means that how we can make our green transition and the transformation in terms of the justice. I think that we don't need to left no one behind our carbon neutrality policy. And then third one is that how we can overcome those climate crises based on the climate technology or green technology to transform our industries as well as the societies. And then finally, I think the policy of the carbon neutrality in Korea as well as Busan Metropolitan City have to be concentrate on how we can make our people and students happier for the future generation and the future urban policies. As I said to you, I commented about the four things. As I said to you, regionalization of the carbon neutrality. And second one is that how we can make our justice transition of the climate adaptation and the carbon neutrality. And third one is that to overcome the climate crisis, how we can use our climate and digital or smart technologies for the next generation. And then, as you know, the Busan is a very beautiful city. Busan can be summarized in three terms. First one is that the natural ocean city, including mountains and the big Nakdong rivers, and also we have the ocean, which means that which indicate that the natural city can be faced more from the climate changes in terms of the sea rising and the heavy rainfall, as well as the high temperatures in southern areas. And then Busan is the first, the most big harbor city in South Korea. Actually, the Busan is the seventh harbor city in terms of the logistics and the business in the world. But in this harbor city, we have so many old ships and old management of the harbor infrastructures and something like that. And then how we can change, transform those. And then third one is that Busan have the very nice experiences. As you know, Busan is the most vulnerable city from the climate crisis in South Korea. Even if, as I said to you, even if we are faced the sea, mountain, and also rivers in our city together. Therefore, I think today I want to present the three parts. First part is that what is the sustainable city in terms of the climate crisis and also carbon neutrality. And then second one is that how we means Busan can achieve those purposes from the Grínsma트 initiative policies. And then thanks so much. And then from now on, Dr. Park, I'd better continue my brief presentation, okay? Okay, thank you so much. Sorry that you should see me again. Because I have a keynote speech for 10 minutes, as I said to you already in the opening ceremony. Okay. My presentation title is Busan Transformation with Sustainable and Green Smart City Initiative. I think that in this title, everything's in there. What and how, what we should do and how we will do in future for the Busan initiatives. Briefly, I want to introduce me. I'm a chief of the Busan Development Institute, and then you can check everything on this one. And then actually, it's the sorry. You can visit our website in the behind, and then because we prepare the presentation book, and you can catch those books for more information. And then actually, I have been the professors for the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering in the Busan National University, majoring the climate change adaptation for the environment and the water problems in Korea. And then specialist, I'm working for the governmental and the national research group for the green infrastructure and the low impact development for 12 years. At the first, I want to say briefly about the 2050 carbon neutrality and the green growth plan for the government, because I'm working for also the division chair for the presidential committee on Korean carbon neutrality. Especially, I'm working for the Just Transition Division with climate adaptation. And then first one, I want to ask you, our city is sustainable? And then second question, what is the meaning of the sustainable green smart city? And then finally, I want to comment related read about the Green Smart Initiative Busan. Okay, I will skip so many presentations, something like that. And then in this year, Korean government published the national carbon neutrality basic designs, having the 40% of the carbon reduction scheme, including responsible carbon neutrality, and also innovative and inclusive, as well as proactive carbon neutrality policies. In these four strategies, Korea have the, I don't know exactly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 targets for the reduction of the carbon neutrality. As you can see, energy, industry, building, and transportation, and agricultural waste, and hydrogen, as well as the international affairs. I want to say this one. In this Presidential Commission of the Carbon Neutrality, I'm working for the just transition and the climate change adaptation subcommission. Actually, I'm a chair of that commission. Therefore, at the beginning of this session, I commented about how the local government initiative and climate change action to the citizens' importance. And then for just 1 year, we acted for the national carbon neutrality and green growth strategies. And in the second meeting, we published a national intelligent electricity plan. This is come from the Ministry of Industry in Korea. And then nowadays, we are published the National Climate Crisis Adaptation Strengthen Activity Plan from the Ministry of Environment. The meaning of the strengthen is that we put the real activities, how we can cover the peoples from the climate crisis, like flood and high temperature, sea rising, something like that. Okay, I'll skip something like that. Sorry. And then in this presentation, in this session, the Dr. Ho, who is the center chief of Busan Metropolitan City Carbon Neutrality Support Center, he will present what the Busan is doing for the action of the carbon neutrality now. And then this is my question: our city is really sustainable? As you can see, the left picture is the old city in Busan, and then right picture is the new Haeundae area, developed by the so many technologies and also buildings and transportation, something like that. And then as you can see, in terms of the time, the left picture is the Haeundae beach area in 1964. About 59 years ago, is really same as my age. At the time I was born. And then left one is the recent Haeundae beach area. What you can see, during the 50 years, the Busan have been increased the 400 times in terms of the economy. Can you imagine 400 times? And then because of the urbanization and the climate changes, still we have faced the population and the climate and social problems in those cities. And then nowadays, the Busan make the green smart city initiatives. What we will do for next generation and how we can do for the action for against the climate changes. As you know, there are 10 crises in the world. During the 10 crisis, as you can see, the green one, 5 crises is come from the climate change, and the red one is come from the social cohesiveness, social problems. And then, as you can see, the climate change can affect the peoples as well as the infrastructures. Because of the big development and the long development in the Busan area, about 60% of infrastructures, including roads, harbors, and airports and buildings, have been aging seriously. And then, because of the climate change, we have to make our plan to change those infrastructures based on the digital technology, and also we have to use the green technologies in future. As you can see, as a professor, I'm making the 2 reasons of the urban sustainable problems. The first one is the climate change, and second one is the bad urbanization plan in Busan and also the other cities. And just you can see the roads, what you can imagine from those roads, is it green or sustainable, something like that. As you know, the Korea, the cities of the Korea, we have the impervious percentage is nearly 95%, which indicates there is no rain can be infiltrated into the soil, and then there is not much evaporation. Those climate change from the natural reason as well as the man reasons, we have faced several problems. Because of that, still nowadays we have faced some inundation problems in the road and subways, and some mal operation of the sewer system, something like that. And then finally, I want to make give you my question. Is this our city sustainable for disaster ecosystem and or the energy system? I'm sorry about that. I'll skip that. As I said to you, Busan is the second city in Korea, and then Busan is the harbor city and most industrialized city in South Korea, including iron, car, ship. Also, we have the nuclear power plants, 4 nuclear power plants in this area. If we can see outside of the Busan, many people can say, "Oh, it's a very rich city and also well-developed city." But I think we need to think more green, smart the initiatives in our planning. This is my summary for the sustainable green smart city, including 4 necessities. First one is how we can change our infrastructure smarter. And then second one is that how we can change or transform our society in terms of the digital technologies. And then third one is that how we can transform our city and the people in terms of the green action and the green activities. And then finally, as I said to you, the most important thing is that just a transition for meet the real purposes of the carbon neutrality policies. As I said to you, there are so many labors in Busan, all the labors, and there are so many industries in Busan and also Gyeongnam and Ulsan area, and then how we can support them, which they cannot be left behind from our digitalization and greenization policies. Okay, this is the concept of the green city. As you can see, for the land, we have to change from the gray to green. For the water, we have to change the concentration policies to the distributed water system. And then for the energy system, we have to dependence system to the independence system. Now the Korean government is making so many laws and regulations related with those green city policies, as well as Busan metropolitan city. It is very complicated concept, green and smart. What is green and what is smart city? In my opinion, how we can put those together in one pot. There is no green pot. There is no smart pot. I think so we'd better put green and smart into the real urban planning and also civilization activities. Okay, for example, education should be digitalized. And also education should be pursued how we can save our earth and our environment in terms of the green terminology. And then also, as you can see, water, energy, and health, transportation have to be green and smart in one part policies. And then I want to make a brief decision of the sustainability. How do you think? What's the meaning of the sustainability of the city? For the Busan City and the Busan Development Institute, I asked to the several doctors and researchers in the same questions. There are so many answers, but I can be summarized, even if I'm not good, but I can be summarized in 3 words. How we can sustain or change our society and city clean, safe, and smart. I think that those are just 3 letters we can make our city more sustainable in future. Okay, briefly, a clean city is not just for the environmental clean. We have to make our society clean from the several problems like population reducing and also some criminal problems, something like that. And then so safety city, we can have safety city from the disaster problems such as flood, drought, and high temperature, something like that. But we have to make our city, our society should be safer from several social problems. And then smart city. Why we have to make our climate technology and the digital technology? I can be answered briefly for people's happiness. And then we have to make our urban policy based on the digital technology to make our citizen more smarter life and happy life. Okay, about just in 2000, in March 21, in this year, Busan declared the Busan Initiative, including green, smart, and sustainable concept from the mayor. And then as usually is the BDI helping to them make the policies and also theories, something like that. we invest how Busan citizens are thinking in terms of the sustainability and initiatives. You don't need to see every good letters and good characters. We can summarize, okay, they need more clean city, green, and they think the city should be smarter. And then they want to have their happy, green, smart. We have been summarized, green, smart, and sustainability. This research comes from the governmental National Assembly Research Center. And then to make our Green Smart City initiative, we also make our researches. How the professors and also some professionalized people are thinking. And then what should be the main values for the Busan initiatives? For long researches, finally we decided, as you can see, even if there are so many inclusiveness, great digital transformation, and some industrial digitalization, and some there are so many stretches, but we have been summarized. They need green and smart and sustainability. This is the three themes of the Busan Expo. Actually, even if that table is very complicated, I understand, but we made this table based on Busan initiatives. As you can see, first theme was the sustainable living with nature. That is the green. And the second theme was the technology for humanity. Not just technology for humanity. That's the smarter life. And then third one is that how we can share and how we can care the citizens in Busan city as well as in the world. Therefore, we can summarize the Green Busan Initiative vision in terms of three characters: green, smart, sustainability. And then we put all 17 SDGs for each initiative themes. Finally, we made our Busan vision. Busan vision is the great transforming the Busan, navigating toward a better future. And then the difference between the other cities and Busan, we did not put just strategies. We put, as you can see, three basics should be pursued from the government, the local government, and the peoples. And then, based on the three basics, we have to get more strategies. We call that's the 5 engines. As you can see, the three basics: smart, green, and 50-minute happy, sustainable city. For those things, we have, do you know the BTS? You know, Bangtan means that the covering and overcoming in Korea. Bangtan, do you know BTS is the Bangtan. Bangtan means covering and as well as overcoming. Therefore, we call those, the Busan should be the Bangtan city or BTS city in terms of the safety and carbon neutrality and 15-minute strategies. And then I will skip many things. First, the first engine in Busan is the World Logistic Hub Busan, because the Busan will be the tripod cities, including big harbor and airport and also transportations. And then the innovative business centers, and third one is the growth digital industry. I'll skip so many things. And then the fourth engine will be the attractive big cultures. And the final, maybe the Dr. Park will present his initiative of the tourism in Busan city related with the carbon neutralities. And then finally, I want to make the conclusion. Just simple. Still, we have so many problems and we have so many things to do. And then I'm suggesting to the government and also the Busan city many times. First one, how you can make the integrated governments having integrated thinking and activities to achieve the carbon neutrality and the digitalization of the cities, Busan cities. And the second one is that BDI and also research institute have to be their works to integrate or make their policies and theories in deep way. And the final was that why we have to ask to ourselves why we are making our city carbon neutrality and also digital cities. Just simply, that is for happiness. Therefore, I'm thinking to the researchers many times, you are the technologist or you are the planners, but you have to think your technology and your planning, how those can be used for the peoples and citizens, making them happier in future. Okay, thank you so much for my presentation. This is the Busan area. Well, thank you so much. Sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Shin. And I think he provided general ideas of Busan initiative, which is make the how the city should go forward. And the next three presenter will provide you about the specific sector of Busan ideas and business in things. The next presenter will be the Dr. Kyung-ok Park. She's a senior research fellow at the BDI. Her research interest is a little bit far from this COP28, but her interest is tourism and leisures related to policy in Busan cities, and she will introduce how the sustainable tourism business or project should go on. Let's big hands to the Dr. Park.
Hello. Yeah, I introduced from him. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm a senior research at BDI, and then today, little bit, it's quite far from the these issues. It's tourism policy. So I just briefly, ocean tourism. Yeah. So could you? Okay. Thank you. Okay. The title is "Toward the Green Blue Marine Tourism City, Busan." Contain the three parts. Introduces part is just passed because our president Hyun-Suk Shin already say something. So I just I'm just senior research as a part of tourism policy, especially analysis of tourism network is in my part. Okay. So actually, one of the issues carbon neutrality. The tourism industry has a somewhat less impact than other industries, but I think we need to make a discussion and the policies that can respond to the climate crisis in any field. So. Today, I would like to introduce some of the effort of businesses, Busan's marine tourism. So in this part, the many countries around the world define the marine tourism as a high valued added, investment and the policies. So in particular, it was so announced that more than this, 400,000 jobs will be, created in 2030, and they will have the positive impact on regional economic growth. Yeah, so it is true that various phenomena caused by climate change cannot be overlooked because the marine tourism sector is attracting industrial attention. So have a look at these pictures. The climate change in the ecosystem to climate change that clearly reveals as a result, the land of the marine tourism if we can graduate the property. So you can see this picture, like the sea levels on the southeastern coast, which include the Busan has risen this part. So because Busan is the largest city where various activities are carried out through the ocean with the 3 sides stacked in the sea. So Busan is places where cruise passenger flowing, including including more than 4.5 million. Sea water a year based on the 7 beaches. So accordingly, facilities and events to enjoy the marine tourism will be held in the 4 seasons, especially summer seasons. Many people come to enjoy the Busan ocean, like this side, and we annually we hold it like a special event, like healing on the beach. This is okay. Past that, sorry. Okay, yeah. This is a particular situation that happened on the coast of the Busan. More unexpected situations are expected as a development related to the sea have become issues in the recent promotion of coastline tourism. Accordingly, the city of Busan is planning to carry the pictures-like activities that can be done on the coastline. And the futures also Busan Metropolitan City has planned some kind of event to develop beach cleaning, blah blah. Yeah. And then so this is another case. Busan. The northern part of the Busan, Bukkang, is places where the coastline has changed due to the larger scale development projects, which can negatively impact, Busan's orientation toward making the blue ocean. Yeah. So recently, Junggu, like the basic local government that included the announced its response to climate crisis and ESG management in the city by a tourism policy, like the goal of the first. And then so this is Dadepo Beach at the north mouth of the Nakdong River, located in the westernmost part of Busan. And then is the only ecological reserve in Busan, where the river and the sea meet. Continuously, pollution issues arise there, but it is in the air where Busan Geopark is located and has obtained the blue key and the Green Key international certification through the various efforts from many stakeholders, like such as Shaha director, or even environmentalists. Yeah, have a look this like a event situation. This one, and then. Sorry. Yeah, although the above is not enough to respond to the climate crisis, it will be necessary to understand the space of the all, and then practice small things first to make the blue ocean. So through this, we will first practice and lead carbon neutrality. Yeah, in Busan marine tourism. Yeah, this is last slide is a beautiful view of the Nakdong Beach, Dadepo Beach in the past, but almost gone. Yeah, now is all developmented, and then disappeared this environment. So we have to recover this kind of environment. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the presentations. She mostly briefly introduced how the green tourism should be initiative in Busan. And next it will be Dr. Ho, who will be provide information about how Busan should take action for the carbon neutralities. Let's give him a big hand.
Thank you for coming. I'm Jong Bae-ho. I am director of the Busan Carbon Neutral Support Center. Today, I'm going to talk about the 2050 carbon neutral strategy of Busan. Here's my talk outline. I'll start my talk with the climate crisis issues, and then I will a little bit talk about climate change adaptation policies and current status of the first phase plan for the carbon neutral and green growth in Busan. Everyone knows that these figures shows the human activity and their the climate responses. The cause of climate change are changes in human activities such as population growth. It's not working, and increase the gross product and fossil fuel consumption and carbon dioxide emissions. And these human activities lead to climate responses such decreasing average glacier thickness and rising sea levels, and finally increasing extreme weather events. So currently, the seriousness of climate change has been emphasized by using the term of climate crisis instead of climate change. Various climate, the responses lead to increase in extreme weather events such as heat and I will look at this. Heat and cold wave and flood and drought. Extreme events have been frequently occurred in Korea, and property damages and casualties in Korea have been getting worse and worse than before. This figure shows the surface temperature long-term trend in Korea and the changes in days of seasons and the ratio of the sea level rise over the past 30 decades. As you can see here, climate change trends in Korea have been more serious than before. This figure shows the surface temperature and long-term trends in precipitation and rainy days in Busan. The maximum, average, minimum, and annual, the average annual temperature currently observed in Busan has been increased by almost 2 degrees Celsius from 1900 to 2020. the precipitation has been increased by almost 19 millimeter, and the number of rainy days has been decreased by 10 days. And the extreme heavy and persistent rainfall have been increasing in Busan. This table summarizes the casualties and property damages in 7 major cities in Korea. As you can see here, the most casualties and property damages have been concentrated in Busan. The climate change also causes a new infectious disease and diversifies the transmission patterns of the infectious disease. This figure shows the long-term trend of 3 class infectious disease and 쯔쯔가무시 and dengue fever. Dengue fever and 쯔쯔가무시 that are the vector-borne disease that are highly correlated with the increase in temperature and precipitation. So we have the high increase these infectious disease outbreak from 2000 to 2020. So Busan is more vulnerable to storm and floods compared to the other regions in Korea. So Busan is an ocean city, so we have a lot of coastline damages, so caused by typhoon, building wind, and storm surge, and the rip currents, and coastline erosion, etc. Many countries have the same policies on climate change adaptation, such as scientific-based climate change impact and vulnerability assessment, and problem-solving measures and decision-making support. We have legal action in Korea to protect, to block the climate crisis. So in Busan, we have the third climate change adaptation, the action. Our action, the vision of the action is a realization of a safe climate adapted city that we created together with the citizen. The detailed implementation plan for the third climate change adaptation of Busan was established in 2022. A total of 64 core projects on the 8 major sectors have been proceeding now, which are water management and ecosystem, urban planning and coastal land use, and agriculture and fisheries, and health, industry and energy, climate monitoring and forecasting, and mainstreaming adaptation. Let's take a look at the current state of making the first plan for the carbon neutral and green growth in Busan. Here is the trend of greenhouse gas emission of Busan. As you can see here, the total emission amount of greenhouse gas emission of Busan in 2018 is about 27,000 gigagram, and direct emission is about 14,000 gigagram, and indirect emission is 13,000 gigagram. Almost 90% of 28 GHG emission of Busan is about the energy sector. The total emission of GHG emission of Busan in 2018 is controlled by the Busan, which means 60% of the total GHG emission are responsible for the Busan. Let's keep. So here we have Busan's goal to reduce GHG emission by 2030. Everybody knows that Korea's reduction goal is about 40% from 2018 to 2030. So we have the same goal, but I think we could have a more, the higher the reduction goal, I think. Let's skip. And here we have Busan's carbon neutral and green growth framework. We have 2 kind of important policy strategy. First one is about the reduction plan. The reduction plan's vision is about the low carbon economic city, green smart Busan. So to reach this vision, we have 4 major important strategies. First one is about the leading carbon neutral through strategic and drastic reduction. Second one is about the carbon neutrality and green growth with the new technology and future industry. And third one is about the practical carbon neutrality with a fair transition for everyone. And the fourth one is about the leading carbon neutrality with the becoming a global marine capital. So we had to reach this, the important major strategy, we have four major, the sectors to be, the reducted. The first one is about the industry, and second one, building and transportation and agriculture and fishery and waste and hydrogen, carbon sinks and CCUS and reduction by overseas carbon credits. We have a strong project to reduce, the GHG emission of Busan, but we have a very weak, the project on hydrogen and CCUS and reduction by overseas carbon credits. So we could make more, the advanced, the project to for these three, the reduction, the project. So here is the another part to reach our, the carbon neutral green growth framework, which is strengthening infrastructure. The strengthening infrastructure is categorized by six the important project, which is climate crisis adaptation and green growth and fair transition, and local government-led and manpower training, and final is about the international cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. He. He explained well about the strategy for the Busan to achieve the carbon neutrality by every sectors. I think it is possible if Busan really sincerely follows and stick to all the plan that he introduced. Next, I will be the next presenter, and it is kind of awkward to introduce myself as the next presenter. As my research is energy systems, and mostly I do something like energy policy and industries. My major, my background is energy engineering, which is a kind of energy system and energy modeling. But ever since I came to BDI, I started my knowledge connecting to the energy policy. So my presenter title is Toward Net Zero Busan with the Sustainable Development. Okay, so already Dr. Shin introduced the Busan, but I really briefly introduced the Busan. And population is about 2022 is 3.3 million. Area is 770 kilometers square. And GRDP, which is gross regional domestic product, 80.1 nominal million USD. And as I explained before, like Busan is a global trade hub of Northeast Asia. It connects 500 ports in 150 countries globally, and global number 2 in handling transships, cargo, and number 7 in handling containers. So the Busan, there's a Busan, and San means it's a mountain. So meaning that there's so many green areas. You can see on the east side of Busan, there's so many green areas. And the west of Busan is mostly the plain area, but it's not been fully developed yet. So West Busan is one of the target Busan try to develop as a sustainable cities. But not only, even if it's not developed as on the west side of Busan, but still there's a high value of ecology, which is there's so many diversities and ecologies, particularly on the mouth of Nakdong River. There's a delta region in the west, which is shaped around the nature and human being in the middle. So we also BDI conducted research about vegetation and sediment water qualities, migration birds, and migration bird habitats. But another unique thing about Busan is that during the Korean War, Busan was a wartime capital or provisional capital for 1,023 days of South Korea. So many entities as a refugee, local resident, government, and international aid organization overcame adversity of the lives over a cycle of refugee inflow and settlement adaptations. So as you can see on the left side of the picture, that's the military maps, how to protect the Busan from the enemies, which was North Korea and China before. And the middle one is a provisional central government, which is Blue House in Korean here. So and the right one is how the urban sprawl, which is houses, and it's like due to the population overflow in Busan, the phenomenon of oversprawl is observed, which is people came from other cities, other regions, came to Busan and built everywhere, built house everywhere, like hills, riverside, and seaside, like any place. So there's no any urban planning over there. So this was one of the really big issues in Korea, and try to like reorganize Busan. But now Busan is developed so much, and as Dr. Sin introduced before, like 100 times of GDP is increased before. So and over here, so everything is light here and developed. This was an APEC Nurimaru House, which APEC like conference was held in 2004. So the next section will be the sustainable cities. So what is the sustainable cities? I think most people agree my ideas that sustainable city is without harming environment, achieving economic growth, and securing safety for people. So I bring some like rough indexes to show how Busan has been evolved. So for environment, I brought the greenhouse emissions per capita. For the economy is a GRDP per capita, and the safety is for safety level. So greenhouse emission per capita has been decreased ever since 2010, but the GRDP per capita has been increased. But also sustainable safety level is almost planned, but a little bit it's increasing by year and year. So, well, from this picture, I would say that Busan is pretty much doing a good job, try to decrease the greenhouse emissions, but like do the developed economic growth. So I do some research that how should Busan should go, how the direction of Busan should go for the energy transitions. So I did some research question over here. And the direction energy production in Busan into almost by 2015 is first. So after the factor analysis, there's some four major indications showing that renewable energy should be pursued for the first, and the next would be the phase out the fossil fuels. And next is the bioenergy, and the fourth is ocean energy. Well, because Busan is surrounded by sea, so in the future, the ocean energy should be really pursued. But the energy system here, so how should the people, all the people think Busan should make an energy system in terms of selling and buying and producing and consuming things? So first thing is that there should be measures for the major emitting sectors. So Busan is a metropolitan city. So major characteristics of metropolitan city is that there's a high energy consumption and high greenhouse gas emission in transportation and building sector. So this should be the major target should be measured. And the next is the role of sectors, so which means the governance, the policy mechanism should be built. And third is the interaction between producers and consumer, which should be some policies and regulations should be planned for the prosumers. And the last one is a small scale production, which is increased energy self-sufficiency through innovations. So all these things in summarize for the previous factor analysis result, the solution for the sustainable energy transition Busan should be intensive measures on building and transportation, and we should build the governance to increase public acceptance on a new technology. And third would be open the liberate energy market for prosumers, and last would be distributed power sectors. So study energy consumption here, I did some mapping things. So where many energy intensive is located in the Busan area. So first one is what east side of Busan. So there's so many farm area and old type houses. And the second one is the middle over here, is the port area. And the last one is the west cities, which is there's so many industry complex is located. Busan is on the right side of the picture. There's a building energy, the energy consumption in buildings. So the trends of building energy consumption has been increased in an average flow area, but the decrease the energy intensity. This means that the building of site is increasing, and the height of building is also increasing as well. So also the solution for that is there should be distributed power resource, which is VPP and urban models, and there's industrial complex models here. So for the breakthrough for a sustainable Busan, I would like to introduce some climate technologies here. Climate technology can be everywhere because it is a compound word for the climate and technology, and refer to all innovative technologies that contributed to greenhouse gas reduction and climate adaptations while generating profit. So 5 tech consists of in the climate tech. Which one is a clean tech? Well, briefly say the renewable energies, and geotech is a satellite things that monitoring and tracing every single of a carbon emissions. And carbon tech is CCS, which is a carbon capture and sequestration, and a food tech is some substitutions of oils or meat, which is a meat made from the beans or something else. And ecotech is for the circular economies, which is a research eco-friendly products and materials. So here, Busan has some specialized zone designated by a national government. So energy industry concept or linkage, because all this specialized zone is designed. Well, I did last year. I proposed this kind of design. So there's a 10. There's some purpose of there's a purpose in each of a complex or specialized zone or clusters. So to make the climate technology realized, there should be R&D first and demonstrations and a scale of demonstration, and then there must be technology commercialization. So all these in these all 310 designated specialized zones, we all can do the R&Ds, commercialization process, as well as a digitalization finance support platform here. So as one of the unique thing is about we have a C, so the ammonia regulation free zone, which is ammonia fueled ship development, and also marine mobility, which is LPG or hydrogen, such a thing. So all these things to make it more simpler I would propose a belt for climate technology. So on the west side over here, there's a clean technology and blue-green city we built, which is a compact of all the climate technology into it, and the eco-technology and climate tech complex. So all these belts can be highly intensively integrated and to build and boost the climate technology. So also demo site for the green blue cities I'll introduce is that along with the central government policies is the establishment of net zero cities. Proposal green blue cities in the west of Busan would be the mostly candidate areas. So we propose so many cutting edge technology into this one here. So like small module reactor, which is SMR, should be over here to make this island fully sufficiently. And the next one is using this SMR electricity as an energy, we do the seawater desalinations. So also not only for the full sufficiency of energy, but also the water should be also self-sufficiently sufficient. So construction of a seawater desalination facility for the water independence in Gadag area is another proposed ideas. And through this, we can do we can produce green ammonias. So establish a hydrogen bunker infrastructure on the Busan Newport. So here, the South Container Pier over here. So this can be possible, linking with the SMR and seawater desalinations. Okay, well, lastly, Busan is a unique city. Once being a wartime capital city, but now Busan is making dynamic moves and preparing to show the world the future visions. So need to deploy every cutting edge technology to pursue the sustainable economic growth, having a reduction in the GHG emissions. So for this, climate technology should be highly emphasized, and also it can be a solution to settle all the major issues regarding the climate crisis and also achieve economic growth. And I think Busan is really ready to do all the quantum jump toward the greener smart cities. Thank you. Okay, as I'm a moderator, also. So while preparing all the discuss panels, so we heard all three presentations about tourism, strategy for the carbon neutrality and energy industry for the Busan. And now we do the panel discussions about we can do how we discuss how how Busan should be go forward, and you can accept your ideas, and we can discuss furthermore to develop all these ideas and concepts. So please sit. 네. Yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to the panel discussions. Thank you for giving your valuable time to participate in these panel discussions. If you have all questions, just don't hesitate to raise your hand and ask. So let me introduce the panel first. From the left side, so Dr. Sin, the president of BDI. And right here is Hyun-Soo Kim from the Korea Research Institute of Climate Change. And the next is Dr. Hana Cho from the Korean Environment Institute. And next is Dr. Kyung-Ok Park from the BDI. And Dr. Jong-bae Ho from the Director of Carbon Neutrality Centers. So why don't we start with Dr. Sin? Or okay, well, let's start with Dr. Kim, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, and I'm Hyung-Soo Kim from Korea Research Institute on Climate Change, and I'm working at the Global Carbon Cooperation team at my institute. And first of all, I'm dedicated to researching GHG mitigation part with a focus on international mitigation based on the Paris Agreement, Article 6. It is truly an honor to participate in such a meaningful gathering where we can collectively address the climate crisis. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude for the invitation. During this session, valuable insights were shared regarding the impact on climate change in Korea and the current status of greenhouse gas emission in Busan, and strategies for particularly noteworthy was Director Shin Hyun-suk's presentation on the transition to a green smart city, often cited as a crucial topic in the discussion on greenhouse gas mitigation and carbon neutrality in most local governments. And additionally, the Park Kyung-ok's insights on the ecotourism, specifically marine tourism in Busan, are considered one of the city's most promising strategy. Similar to forestry, which contributes to green carbon, the ocean is recognized as a sink capable of removing greenhouse gases. It is noteworthy that methodologies for calculating the greenhouse gas mitigation effects related to the blue carbon have recently been under development. And moreover, the anticipated energy between the carbon capture and storage, which one is the CCS technology, and the ocean suggests that the future of the carbon neutrality is significantly influenced by the ocean. Both of these topics continue to be discussed not only domestically but also on the international stage. Indonesia has sought support from Korea in formulating the strategies for a low-carbon transition through ecotourism recently. Therefore, if Busan successfully advances toward a carbon-neutral society through initiatives like smart city development and ecotourism, it could serve as an exemplary case for sharing Busan's advanced experiences with the international community. However, I believe that the two essential factors are crucial for realizing such policies. Firstly, the financing is the paramount, since the majority of the greenhouse gas emissions occur in the private sector. Engaging the private sector in GHG mitigation is crucial. Secondly, user participation is vital. Technologies or initiatives introduced in smart cities or ecotourism must have the real users to be effective. In Chuncheon, in my hometown, there was a smart city challenge project was implemented, focusing on a pilot project using electric bicycles. However, due to the absence of the actual users and their disinterest, the project has not been fully realized yet. Taking these factors into account, I hope for the successful development of technology, policies, and financing for the carbon neutrality. I aspire to see the Busan emerge as a model city for the carbon neutrality in the marine sector. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Next, let's hear from the Dr. Jo.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Hannah Cho from Korea Environment Institute. Actually, the Korea Environment Institute is a national institution under Prime Minister, and we are searching about the Korea national environment policy. Actually, I am from the KACCC, Korea Adaptation Center for Climate Change. We are focused on the adaptation. So we are research about the policy and project focused on the adaptation with the Ministry of Environment Korea. So I'm just briefly introduce our Korea response, Korea climate change response policy. Already, Dr. President Shin mentioned about the Korea response policy. In 2020, the Korea declared carbon neutrality. And in 2021, we make the frame act for the implemented climate change. We make a response plan act. The next year, in 2022, we make the climate change response basic plan. That plan is including mitigation and adaptation. So the government, the Korea government, make a great effort to climate change response. So briefly to introduce the basic strategy. For the mitigation, the Korea government is trying to reduce the coal power generation and rationalize the power mix. And we are trying to revitalize the process, transition, and circulation economy through the industry. And also we are trying to expansion building energy independent and spread of the pollution-free mobility, environment-friendly agriculture, livestock, and fishery. We will also expand the carbon sink such as forest and wetland. We also will foster technology innovation and core industry and expand our finance and investment to back up our carbon neutrality policy. And also we are leading to carbon neutrality where all members of society sympathize and participation. It is for the mitigation strategy. And for the adaptation, we have some strategy. I want to introduce the Korean strategy. The Korean government, we make sure that various climate risk information is well communication to the public So they are prepared of what kind of the impact is there, and they prepare. So also we are improving our social infrastructure that reflect the future climate risk. We are working to minimize the damage to the vulnerable people through the climate disaster prevention. Also, we are trying to make sure all adapters can participation and work together. And Busan is kind of the representative city leading Korea carbon neutrality. And as they mentioned about that, the Busan is turning to the green smart city. So I'm so proud of, I'm a Korean, so I'm so proud of the Busan city. And also, President Busan mentioned about the happiness, citizen happiness. It is so important. So I'm so impressed about the word and you consider about the climate change response and also think about the happiness of the citizen. So I'm so impressed with this presentation. Thank you.
Okay, now let's hear from the Dr. He.
As you commented, I'm asking every time, and I'm not to you, every time to me, why we should have the carbon neutrality policy, and
That's
why
true.
we should to protect the people from the climate crisis. Happiness, right? Making our life better and making our nature better in the next generation, right? Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. And then I think it's because we heard about the discussion panels, opinions, and then why don't you say about your thinking from those commenters in terms of the green tourism or something like that. Even if I'm a chief of the BDI, I never been heard about the green tourism, but she suggesting related with the green tourism. How do you think about that?
Yes, that's a great comment to protect our response to climate change in especially Busan. Yeah, actually Busan is first international tourism city designed by South Korea government. So, but now actually we just focus on the development. Meeting many all around the world people, so that's no problem. But sometimes we concerned about some protect and the development. So balance it is very important. But it's kind of focus on more than development. So that's a problem. But he suggested that green tourism, especially we are Nakdong River, there is a eco tourism part in I think in the best of the Korea. So we have to protect something and develop something to people in this area. So I agreed with your opinion. Thank you very much. Yeah,
that's very interesting viewpoint. Because the Busan is the ocean and the harbor city, biggest harbor city. There are so many people that come and go, walking around from the another locations in Korea as well as in the world, from the world. Then if we can have like a green initiative and we can show our activities for the Grínsmatt initiative to the world, there might be a very good dispersion of our values to the world and to the countries, right? Using the tourism. What a nice. Okay, great. Ecotourism and carbon tourism. Not for the carbon neutrality tourism. Okay, thank you so much. And then I want to ask you, Dr. He, yesterday, even if we have the lack of fund for this event, but we visited to the master city paid by our own transportation. Anyhow, how do you think about to comparing the master city and the Busan eco city in terms of the carbon neutrality? Can you say something related with that, and also something for the discussion panels, commenters? Dr. He, you have to use your
Sorry. I'm busy. You guys busy. Everybody in this room busy, right? However, yesterday I visited Masdara city, as mentioned him. Everybody knows that Masdara city is has been built as the world's first carbon neutral city. When I visited, I saw that there are core exhibition room and universities and several research centers that had been built and were in operation now. And the facility that I was particularly impressed by was a city facility based on the renewable the energy. The electricity produced by wind buildings and solar power facilities was available now, and the battery for electric devices have been available everywhere in that city. So it was also very impressed to see the city being planned around the green infrastructure and planned facilities being immediately applied without any error. So I was also very impressed by the particular, the practical applications of various energy-saving technology developed by the research institute and the private companies there. So the Masdara city seems like could be our role model of Busan. So it could be a very good benchmarking city for Busan.
Thank you so much. Next, master city in Busan.
Why not?
Anyhow, and then still, because I'm not a coordinator for discussion, but I think it's because he's the professional for the energy system in Korea. Therefore, I want to ask you a little bit about the distributed energy system and the law in Korea nowadays related with nuclear power plant. Because as I said to you, Busan is one of the biggest city having the 4 nuclear plants into the city. Therefore, Busan is very interested in how we can deal with carbon neutrality and also energy system in around the Busan area, having about 10 million people. Okay, can you say something like that?
Yes.
It's a very difficult question. Maybe you have to think so much. Okay.
Because there's a really unique thing in Busan is that Busan is one of the most highly intensely have intensity in terms of nuclear power plant per square, which means there's no any countries, no any cities that has so many nuclear power plant in one areas. So because of that, there's a really low public acceptance about the nuclear energies. So many protests going on if the Busan try to build more nuclear plant or something. So but the time and technology has been changed, and there's a small modular reactor is developed and under design, and some new scale in the United States try to build the SMR for towarding the cutting edge technology. And Busan should be one of the leading cities that should deploy in a really safe area under the regulation of nuclear commissions of Korea. So because in Korea recently there's a law regarding the distributed power resources. So which means there's more microgrid should be there. As now, there's a mostly central power plant is generating electricity and sending to the all single each one of a household. But in the future, there should be like renewable energy together with some base load power plants such as fuel cells or maybe SMR should be it would be the new like energy system in the futures, and along with the distributed powers resources, there's also electricity market should be reformed. Such as one of the model can be CAISO in California or like some other European models. So, well, in terms of candidate places, for the as I introduced the last slide, there should be Gadak area. So there's one of the really the candidate area there where distributed power resource can be realized in there using SMR or renewable energy such as wind power, offshore wind power, and solar power and hydrogen fuel cells. So because there's in Korea, in Busan, we have a triport, which has an airport, train station, logistic transportation, imported into the Busan port and traveled to into all the Seoul and other areas, and on a seaport. So with all these things, triport, we have so many energy requirements. So for that, so the really low carbon intensive energy should be provided there. And Busan, especially in Gadak area, can be a signature places where can be a model or business model to the other not only other cities in Korea, but also to the globally. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. As he commented, there will be we will have the new international airport in the island. As you know, the international airport development will destroy some natural areas and oceans. I accepted that, but we are thinking about how we can make those islands net zero island, no water consumption, no the circulation of the green energy, and also the green water and no waste, something like that. And then we are suggesting how we can make those islands like carbon-free and natural island in the typical type of the future generative projects in Busan area. And then he's commented about that. Good. Thank you. And then I think I'd better give this mic to the President Lee. Come on. Just joking. Yeah, because he's the director of the Korea Environment Institute. Thank you so much for coming by this session. And then because I have to hear what he's saying every time from the government. I'm joking. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. And then, is there any questions for our projects? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. President Sin, in your keynote or presentation, you mentioned not leaving anybody behind in the transition. What is your approach to engaging with industry and hard-to-abate sectors so they are not left behind?
There are two things we are doing nowadays, concentrating on the just transition in terms of the labor transition and industry transition. For the labor transition, I think the most important thing is that the education, for full life education. We have to let them know how they can change their job from gray job to the green job in future. And then second one is that we have to use the incentive system. If they can change their pattern of the job to the green, then the government or local government provide the incentives in terms of the, not just for the money, in terms of the activities and also in terms of the banking service or welfaring service, something like that. Therefore, we are using the two, education and incentive system for dealing with the labor, green transportation. And then in terms of the industry just transportation, there is another story. As you know, industry guys already they are CEO for the gray industries, including iron and the small ship company, and also there are so many waste product companies. I think that we have to support them. At the first, we have to support them the technology to be changed from their operation of the industries, and also changing their industry mechanisms. For example, for the ship industry, old ship industry, we have to suggest the technology to reduce the carbon and to reduce the climate crisis into their industries. For doing that, as you know, because Korea is the capitalism country, we are using the climate fund to support the old industry to transform the green industries. And the second thing is that we have to decide, Korea and the Busan city have to decide what we will sustain the industries, and then what we will dump out the industries. That is very political and critical problems, but I think the two patterns of the strategies should be go for get our carbon neutrality and climate adaptation problems in Korea and the Busan area. It's okay? Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay. The time is up, so we really had a heated discussions, but due to the limitation of time we have, so I believe we can have a much further discussion after this seminar, or we can meet at a better opportunity. So the end of this event, we only have like 30 seconds or something, so we let's hear closing remark from Dr. Shin for like 10 seconds. Okay, and we will be finish our seminar. Thank you.
1 second for thank you. Second for come to Busan. And then final second for finished today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.